All you got to do is look at the shirt he's wearing. He's got the shirt of the weekend, hands down. This guy's a powerhouse, man. He's gone through a ton of healing, and he's a big healer in his practice in Augusta, Georgia. Let's get up on our feet for Dr. Chris Walker.
Happy Friday. So we're going to start with a little attitude of gratitude. When people talk about Dee being a family on this stage for you new people, it's a real thing. It's not some gimmick. It's not something we're trying to tell you. It's true. So a few weeks ago, my wife goes to get a package out the door, and this is sitting on our front porch. And there's a plaque there that says, "In loving memory to Zeke and Zabby." And Dan, Leanne, and Dan's dad, Don, had this custom made for us. So we'd have a place to talk, to pray, and a spot to be with them. So when we say we're a family and we look out for each other, it's true. I'm a doctor by honoring and releasing the amazing power that resides in every living thing is serving God and not playing God. And DE is my chiro church, and where I come to get dipped in love and fill my chiropractic soul. This place will change you. You've been hearing that all weekend long, if you allow it. But you have to be open to it. Our job is to make you feel uncomfortable. Our job is not to make you feel warm and fuzzy. It's like that old frog thing, right? Put a frog in water and slowly turn up the thing, you'll boil the frog. We do that to you, we're not serving you. All of us get here on the stage. We're blessed to be on this stage, and we're just hoping that we can give you something that someone's given us in the past and paying it forward. Because I've had two things in my entire 25 years of chiropractic, 19 years in practice, has been Dynamic Essentials and Douglas and Mackay. Those are the only two things I've ever been a part of. And together, they've blessed me to have a wonderful life and a wonderful practice, allow me to serve a lot of people. But I want to do a little bit of house cleaning before the beginning, because if you do allow this place to change you, there's going to be a couple things that are going to happen when you get home. You're going to make people around you very uncomfortable because you're now different. You're not the same person you were when you left on Thursday. And you will find out who your friends are and who you really need to be around. You know, I'm sure many of you have heard the whole adage about crabs. And when you put crabs in a bucket, you don't have to put a lid on it. Why? Because they will pull themselves down. They will never let one get out and escape. And if you're not around the right people, that will happen to you. Because I can tell you how many people come here, get on fire, go back on Monday, and do the same shit, or do the same around the same people, and hear hear all the negative going to the, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Whatever it is. So don't hang out with damn crabs. Two, when you're making your goals, everybody does, I still do them, on your flight home on Sunday, make sure they scare the shit out of you. They should scare you. Because if they don't scare you, that means you're still in your comfort zone. And that means you're not growing. You're not going anywhere. You'll feel good. You'll have that fake momentum, right? You'll feel like you got somewhere. But 2 weeks later, once again, you'll be back where you were on Wednesday. And nobody wants that. I mean, you came here, right? For a reason. I don't think it was because we all look pretty up here. So when bad things happen, we have to choose how our days are steered. We can thrive or we can close our practice, right? If you guys, any person that you think that is successful, like most of the people that you look in this room and you might be like, man, they've got it together. I bet if you go to them and talk to them, you're going to find that there was a struggle in their life. They turn that pain into power. It is a constant theme here. The greatest healers healed by helping and serving others. We all have a history. We all have a story, right? And that moment those bad things happen to us in our life, you know, it's funny. Before we got here, we were in Mexico last week, and I reread Steve's book when I was sitting on the beach, and I was already putting together my talk, and I was like, I think this is going to be the theme of the weekend, is everybody dropping shit and leaving shit. Last week, last DE, it was all about fear. And if you've been paying attention at all today, baggage has been the theme, right? But we have to decide to do that. And during this journey, you will hit walls. Things will come at you, but you got to keep the faith. And things will trigger you. They will trigger you out of nowhere, because we all have those things. Maybe it was getting you picked on when you were a kid. Maybe it was something with your parents. Maybe it was you're overweight. Whatever it is, everybody's got their story, right? And when those triggers happen, we got to be prepared for them. Because if you don't, you're going to start doing that same old cycle, and you're going to pick the darkness. And there's nothing good in the darkness. There's only goodness in light. This happened to me last week. So we were in Playa del Carmen. Let's see if I get this right. Oh, I was supposed to show you that one earlier. And we decided that we were going to go swimming with sea turtles, right? And I was talking about this for like 3 months. And then we booked the trip. I was like, oh, look at that. We got to go there. We got to do this. We got to do this. So excited about it. I think they're adorable, right? I couldn't wait to get there. So we go out, go to this tour. We're on the beach. Now, of course, I want to tell you, I'm picturing in my mind at home sitting on the couch, crystal clear water that's just kind of like a pond. Nope. Not that day. No one warned us that, hey, some days you're actually going right off the shore, which means you're with the rolling waves. All right, no big deal. We get in the boat. Get our masks and stuff, and we all go out there, and then we're jumping off the side. I'm the first one off. I'm jumping in. I'm like, all right, we're going to see sea turtles. I get situated. You know, we got our life rafts on. We got the mask. Except me forgot, right, that the last time we went snorkeling, when me and Winter were in Jamaica, we realize guys with goatees can't wear a mask. Why? Because you don't get a seal, right? So here I am just bobbing in the water, right? Water just shooting up my thing, and everyone's like, you having fun? I'm like, yeah, right? And then we had a couple big waves come in. And I end up taking a couple big gulps, right? Because I'm sitting there, I can't use the snorkel, I can't do anything. They're all just like floating and looking, and right? And all of a sudden, I got some in my lungs. And I started coughing. And I started to panic a little bit. And I thought that flashed through my head that, is this how Zeke felt? And we call it in my house that movie starts playing in my head. Because the day that he passed, I can close my eyes sometimes and I can see the entire thing running into the pool, jumping in, doing CPR, that whole thing. And it's just this like movie that will play. So here I am trying to catch my breath. The movie's playing. But I now realize I've got to make a choice. And I can choose either A, get my shit together, get centered, or I'm going to blow this entire vacation and lose some great, amazing quality time with my family. So I get quiet. I kind of just lean back. I remember Winter walking, kind of swing on me like, you okay? Okay. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm going nuts in my head. But I'm not going to let her know that. I don't want to ruin her time because I knew I had to make a choice, that this was on me. So I laid there with my arms open, prayed to God, and said, I need you. We need to stop this movie. This does not define me. So the reason I made the movie stop are those two people. Because they are my world. They are my heart. I stop it because my son is watching me and watching how I deal with adversity. Because he was there with me that day. He was right there with me. And if I fall, what's going to stop him from going down that dark road too? And my wife needs me. At least I hope she still does and wants to every day. And third, my patients need me. Right? So I keep going down those dark paths and making those bad choices. Who's going to serve them? Listen, when those kind of things happen, you might have to pause for a moment and get your bearings. Maybe you'll just need a good cry and release the emotions. We talked about that before up here. Crying is one of God's greatest gifts he ever gave us. It's how we release. So never be afraid to cry. Then you pick yourself up and you keep moving forward towards the light. Because if you're still breathing, God is not done with you yet. 2, your family and loved ones need you. Chiropractic patients need you because we have lots of lives that still need to be saved. But you have to decide to be different. Now, my story might seem worse than yours. They're the same. That's the one thing I've learned from all of this in the last 6 years. Everybody has their story, right? And not one is worse than the other. Because wherever that person is, that's their worst. Continuing to live your life the way you are now is a choice. Doing nothing is still a choice. You may think you're not, but you are. So if you're going to choose something, Why don't you choose being happy? And you first-timers or second-timers, jump in and be all in. But realize it's going to take work. That showing up one or two meetings is not going to change your life. It's going to start the seeds. But if you don't water those damn seeds, they're not going to grow. You can't plant a plant, stick it on the shelf, and then walk away and come back 3 months later and go, well, shoot, why is it dead? It doesn't work that way. To become a better chiropractor, we first must become a better version of ourselves. But to do that, we must have faith, real faith. You can only go through the emotions for so long. You can get up early, you can meditate, you can do the 49 breaths, but if you're not putting them into action, that's for nothing. It's like a prize fighter training for months and months and not showing up for the bout, for the big fight. So I was watching I came across a cool sermon the other day, and it really resonated with me. And it made me go, you hear things and you go, because we're chiropractors, and that's our prism, right? We go, how can I reflect that to chiropractic? Right? So the preacher was talking about how, in jiu-jitsu, there's the white and the black, right? So the white's the beginning, black's the end, the ultimate, what you're looking for, right? So he said he was sitting here with his coach, and his coach asked him, he goes, which one do you think is the hardest? What do you think he said? The black. He said the white? You're right, because most people don't even start. And he said, well, what about the blacks? The black belts? What does that mean? And he said, the black belts are the ones who chose to start, but never quit, and are continually learning to be the best. And most of them will never tell you that they're even a black belt because they feel like they've never hit that pinnacle. And I bet you, if you ask some of the names of people come walking across the stage, you probably think they look and go, man, they've got it here. We're going to tell you. No, I'm not even a yellow yet. I got still a long freaking way to go because I've got a lot of people to save and I got a lot of people to help. Actually, give me that back. That's the wrong one for you. You're way past that. Who's just starting out? Who's making a choice? Remember, never stop driving for the black belt. Not in chiropractic. Not yet. So I'll be 49 this year and 19 years in. I had to make a choice to stay where I am or start to move forward. So we decided we need to grow. I could be very happy where I am for the next 15 years. But then I'm not serving my purpose. So we came on the plane ride home from Clearwater and said, why are we not? We've been at this level for such a great level, and most people go, that's awesome. But we in winter sat down and we're like, where we got to go? What do we got to do different? First thing we got to do is we had to ask for it. So we used to always have 500 numbers all over the office. So that was our limit. So we changed all these little numbers around our office to 6s. And said, if we got to go, because we just keep hitting that. We got to stretch that zone. If you don't feel like your compass is going in the right direction, change it. We determine how this story ends, and our people need us. And in my practice, I want the worst of the worst. Every single day on my ride to school, on my son's ride to school, he comes to me in the morning. Our morning mantra prayer is, Dear Lord, please bring us the worst of the worst so we can reconnect it with the innate ability you give each one of us to heal from the inside out. I want the guy that was wrecked in the car wreck that can barely walk. I want the baby that can't eat. I want the kid in the wheelchair. I want the worst of the worst. Because I don't want him going to the guy down the block that throws a red laser or a Vericusser or whatever it is and doesn't even adjust them. I will see any patient at any time, and I will meet them at their worst day, and I will do my best to reconnect them with life. So I think a lot of times we all get caught up in these, how our practice is supposed to look. If you go to any of these old school people, like BJ, Sid, John Batwell practiced in our time for years. That's what they always said. Every patient, every time, no matter what. Not if they were a certain age, or had a certain insurance, or didn't have insurance, or under the age of 65, hadn't been in a car wreck. Stop putting walls up. There are enough damn walls in chiropractic already for us to fight through. We don't have to put up ones ourselves. Because we have this idea in our head that the person should be able to walk in and go, I would like to get a check for supplementations. I'm sorry, guys. It's in 19 years. I think I've had, I don't know, maybe 50. And that's because they came from somebody who's in this room. And it was really nice because I had to just say, okay, I'll see you next week. Which is awesome. But if we're going to serve the masses, we got to be all swimming in the same direction. You made the first step being in this room by making an investment. Unless you live down the block, it took you a substantial amount of money to get here, right? And I told you went to the store and bought a great Armani suit or some famous women designer dress, you'd wear that, right? You'd find a reason to wear it. Why? Because you invested in it. Well, you did the same thing coming here. Don't waste that investment. I came across this last couple weeks ago. Actually, this one I think has been sitting in my folder just a few weeks after the last DE. We have learned in business and in life that we plan for doesn't align with God's best for us. When we follow his lead, the dream is bigger than we can dream up ourselves. If you're sitting there, you don't think you have the potential, I'm telling you, if you're here breathing and alive, you have the ability to succeed. You just got to put the work in. And you got to be all in. And you got to do it for love, not the money. Because if you do it for that, I promise you, he will take care of the rest. Remember, he gave you an assignment when you decided to take this Chiro oath. You made a promise. You made a commitment. So honor that. Serve the masses. And like I said last DE, not everybody's designed to be a 500 visit chiropractor. That's great. That's nothing wrong with that. But hit your potential, because we all have different lives, right? All our lives are different. We have kids, we have families, everybody's got things, and God made us all differently. And nothing is wrong with either one. But make sure you're hitting your ceiling. and not wasting your potential. Because I believe in you. And all those guys sitting in the back of that room that have crossed this stage today, and one sitting in front that are about to cross this stage, believe in you and are here to help you. And we're never going to sell you anything. So this is the part, if I was to do it a Sunday sermon, where I would be asking you to bring God into your life. Today I'm asking you, are you ready to take control of your life? Are you ready to live the life of your dreams? Are you ready to shed some husk and become new? Because like a phoenix crushed to earth, you can rise out of the ashes. I love and appreciate you.